So hi guys, I just kind of want to go over my last and final thoughts on the UDI Force One Blue Jay. Um, Liked it. It's a nice bird, nice steady bird. Um, I will say, however, this guy um is performed rather well. As you can see, it's got the FPV camera at the bottom. Um, Performed very well. Um, just as you can see, it's also I pulled out the Cheerwing CW4 to kind of do a comparison of the two. The Cheerwing has a regular camera. It doesn't have an FPV camera. It just has a regular remote camera. As you can see, it's been modified a little bit. I've changed the colors up. It doesn't have the white props. You know. But at any rate, the main reason I want to kind of pull these two together is they're essentially the same drone. The CW4, the Cheerwing, is non FPV, where this one is at FPV. That pretty much is the difference between these two. The thing that's really interesting though is that it's essentially the same drone. This guy is going for about $100 to $129 on Amazon. This guy, which is essentially the same drone, goes for about, you can find him for about 40 to 50 bucks. Half that. I mean, almost more than half of the UDI Force One Blue Jay. The primary difference between the two of them is the FPV camera. So if you're looking for a good starter and you're looking to learn FPV, this guy's not bad. But if you're looking for a good starter, the Cheerwing CW4, very good. It's a good starter. Both of them have kind of limited range. However, there is one other difference I noticed. This guy, when I put it up in the air, I kind of had a little bit of an issue with signal. It kind of wanted to fly away. It was starting to go up in the air, and it's when I lost signal and it got 50 feet up. If there had been a strong wind or a nice gust, could have really lost this guy. This guy, the Cheerwing, when you lose signal, it kind of just drops. So it kind of just flutters and just kind of falls out. So it's almost kind of impossible to kind of lose this guy, because if the Cheerwing gets too far from you, it's just going to drop. And I've had that issue with it all the time where it gets out of range, it just drops. This guy, however, did not drop. It just kind of stayed in the air. The other issue that I noticed is when you put this guy up in the air, it takes a while for you to get it down, like longer than I'm accustomed to get this guy down. That could be a little risky, especially also on a day where you're dealing with maybe some wind. That could result in you losing it, or it going someplace where you don't want to go, like a tree or something like that, if you're trying to avoid it. Overall, I like this guy. I like the FPV. I like the app. The app was very, very easy to use. It dials right up. You don't need a password or anything like that. That was kind of cool. I did notice that the camera, the footage gets a little shaky as you get it up in the air. The camera feed, at least on the app, gets a little shaky. I noticed when I pulled up the SD card too, it was also very thing. The Cheerwing, I've used this guy for shoots and stuff that I don't want to put a more expensive drone up on it, and I get really good footage off of it, and I get usable footage off of it, and it gives me a really decent range. But it's been going across. The other issue that you're going to have if you go with the Force One Blue Jay, or even if you go with the Cheerwing CW4, is the battery time. You're going to start noticing with the standard 500 milliamp battery, you're going to get about 5 minutes worth of fly time before your controller starts beeping at you. Now, what you can do is, if you go on Amazon, you can get yourself one of these. These are 1000 milliamp 30C, 3.7 volt. LiPo batteries. That'll extend your flight time almost 8 to 10 minutes, pretty much. Um, you can get that battery will go with either one of these. It's pretty universal. That battery will buy you about 8 to 10 minutes, depending on how hard you're flying it. So that battery also will work with the Cyma X5C over here. Overall, either one of these guys are a good choice. I really enjoyed it. I would just be very wary of this guy paying the amount of money that you're paying for it. If you're looking for a decent quad that's $100 to $130, I don't know if I would go with this guy. You get some cool stuff with it. You get the app, that runs it. You can't record using the controller. You have to record using the app, which I find to be sometimes bothersome because you have to dial up the app and all that fun stuff. This guy, you just grab and go, and you can record right off the controller. You could just point and shoot, and you get some pretty decent footage off of it. I don't know if this guy is worth $130. I mean, it's a nice quad. It flies good. It seems to be pretty reliable. It seems to be pretty durable. I've crashed it a couple times, and it seems to bounce back and ready for more. But if you're looking for an FPV camera drone to learn with, I don't know if I would recommend that you pay $130 for this guy. The flight time's not long enough. You'd have to buy, even if you buy the batteries, you're still only going to get about 8 to 10 minutes off of it. You're going to need a lot of batteries to keep it up. I have 6 for the Cheerwing, 6 of the 1,000 milliamp batteries that I bought for the Cheerwing just to get some pretty good stuff going. So yeah, that's my basic assessment. I don't know. I mean, it's a nice quad, and again, thank you for Force One for sending it. But I mean, if I had to pay for it and pay $130 for this guy, knowing that I can get a Bug 6, which is that guy right there, for $100. I mean, granted, it doesn't have a lot of the cool features and doesn't have the but you can get a camera and you can do FPV on that thing. I mean, it's and you're paying $100 for a much better quad. I mean, here you have $100 and you have a quad with brushless motors, and it looks really sweet. And you get this for $100, sometimes even less on eBay or Amazon. So, I don't know if, I mean, you look at, the Bugs 6, and you go to this guy, and I mean, they're not even in the same class. I mean, it's just no doubt. I mean, I would much rather have a Bug 6 over this guy. It just, I don't know, like $130, $100 seems really pricey to me when you can just spend, $30 or $40 more and get a decent GPS quad, and also be a little more, a little more safe with it. But that's my basic assessment. Again, thanks for Force One for sending it out. But in no way, shape, or form can I recommend this to anybody, to any beginner, to people that are using it. I mean, I'm not saying it's total crap. I'm just saying the price point is not very good. All right. Well, that's all I have. That's my assessment. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.